Well, hello everybody. Thanks for joining me live from Dreamforce here in San Francisco, doing the quick shrink here. Unfavorable lightning conditions. I'm very happy my colleagues, Doug, who seems to be here at Moscone too, and Ray, who is driving somewhere. Ray, where are you driving right now?
I'm driving away from Moscone.
You're driving away from Moscone. Dreamforce over for you already. Not for Doug
Yeah.
and me.
I'll be
I
back.
hope our other colleagues, Cindy, Alan, and Natalie, who are all running around here in meetings and briefings, will join us too. But why don't we start with you, Doug? Alan joined us. Hey, Alan, thanks for joining us. Perfect. As we all converge here at this biggest show on Earth or something like this, right? 160,000 participants claimed by Salesforce. Not sure if that's correct, but we'll
170.
170.
170 and 15 million online, supposedly. The big announcement, obviously, is this Einstein artificial intelligence, and a lot of people saying it's a lot of hype. My job here has been to try to find out what's real, what's actually shipping, and what's not, and really trying to dig in on that, discover a few things that seem to be available now. They're basically things that were from the acquired companies, the many acquired companies that Salesforce has acquired in the last 6 months or so. Others are near term, like in the first quarter of 2017, and many are far off, and we won't see them until Dreamforce 2017. But I have a whole list of things that are real and aren't. I'd love to share a few of those, but any comment from others on the Einstein launch?
Well, I think there are probably about a few things people want to cover. So Einstein is probably the big headline. And I would also talk about some of the other things that are happening just in general with how Einstein's being embedded throughout different applications or how they plan to do that. But I think the big piece, Holger, I'd flip it around, is to talk about the platform and the things that are happening inside the platform that are some of the big changes. So I think those are probably good frameworks to start with. And Alan, what do you want to talk about? Oh, he's kind of in mute mode. We'll see if he pops in. So
Yeah, well, he's here. Alan, you want to go? You want to unmute yourself, or can I unmute yourself? I'll unmute you. No, I'm not sure if I can unmute you.
I should be able to unmute myself.
I'm hearing him.
Yeah, let's go,
all right,
Alan.
you're good.
Let's give you. Well, while Alan's getting back, let me jump in quickly here.
Trying.
Okay. Well, we'll give you a moment. So while Alan's trying, really the interesting thing is what's happening on the platform side from my perspective, because everything else, like Doug said earlier, is just coming along. It's going to come in the future. And the really interesting thing there is that Salesforce, for the first time, used what they call an events object. And events are obviously important. Why to talk about when everything's about AI? Because in the business application context, you need to know what is good, what is bad, and all the facets in between. So creating for the first time a first-class object, business object about an event is very key to do more things on the AI side. Interesting enough that business object is not available, it's only on the Force.com platform and not available on the Heroku modern app platform, because that's where all the acquisitions were, which all have a different way of understanding what's good or bad from artificial intelligence or machine learning perspective. Alan, did you make it back?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
Just speak, Alan. Just go ahead. Alan, just talk.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, sorry, I can't see anything. My screen's all locked up, so hopefully you can see me. So the question was, from my perspective, what was big at the show, and you're obviously talking about Einstein a lot and things. Some other big things for the collaboration space, certainly the acquisition of Quip that happened earlier this year that aren't familiar, the sort of a new modern take on word processing.
So I think Alan's got a bad connection, but I think the stuff around Quip is pretty interesting, how it's being embedded into collaborative workflows. I think when people start thinking about how workflows work, it's really hard to actually make a lot of collaboration happen if you're not inside the direct process. So, oh no, we've lost Holger as well. So, yes, wonderful Wi-Fi. so that's kind of what's happening there. in terms of how Quip's been integrated. Lots of different things and that have actually improved how people use Chatter and the ability to actually embed these applications across. On your end, Doug, let's talk about Einstein, the things that you've discovered, what's real, what's not.
Exactly. As you could guess, the things that are real are the things that they acquired, applications that were already being offered to companies, like this thing that they're going to call Discover Smarter Insights. Well, that's beyond core, and it's going to be part of the analytic cloud Einstein. We had an interview with Bob Stutz, who confirmed that beyond core is a really big part of the analytics cloud and the next sort of generation of wave, which has gone through another kind of facelift. Another capability that's real and available now is product recommendations. Well, that came out of Demandware, and that's part of the commerce cloud Einstein. And also predictive email, that's a Demandware capability that they offered. That's available now, but it's going to be optional. And then they have a couple more things from Demandware: predictive product sorting and market basket analysis. Again, machine learning based, low touch. That's something that analysts can actually put their hands on without consulting with data scientists to do. Predicting what products customers might be interested, predicting what products they might buy along with other products. That's going to be Q1. And then other things like predictive lead scoring, that's available now. It's part of Beyond Core. It's going to be part of the Salesforce Sales Cloud Einstein. But a number of other things just aren't there yet. Most of the things in the Discover Sales Insights, recommended sales actions, part of the Sales Cloud Einstein, not available yet. That's going to be a blend of things. Predict customer engagement, predict customer satisfaction. That's part of Marketing and Service Cloud, and those aren't available yet. These are things that they're working on, and you get various accounts as to whether it'll be early 2017 or something further out like Dreamforce next year.
So Doug, so basically what we saw was a roadmap of all the areas where Einstein will be happening, everything except for maybe a neural net, as far as we could tell at the moment, right?
Only that it was not called a roadmap, right? So that's all the marketing vanilla which we have to cut through it. But Doug is absolutely right. It's a collection of existing capabilities. Nothing wrong of bundling up existing capabilities. But what Salesforce still has to explain: where will the data for this be stored? How is it going to be brought together? What's the platform where this will be? Will this be on AWS, which has signed a long-term deal? Will this be on the old Force platform? What's the data governance? So tons of detailed questions which Salesforce really owes the answer. In the meantime, it's the thing which worked before, right? So, but Cindy has joined us, right? Cindy, welcome to the Hangout, and glad to have you here. And you're covering for marketing and Salesforce. So this is your conference here, right? Salesforce is the market leader. What are your top 3 takeaways? Don't say Einstein. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, as everyone joining the Hangout has heard from my esteemed colleagues, and I was a little bit late, that really the big theme for Dreamforce this year is on Einstein. And really the first initial use cases for AI, it's the most tangible are always in the marketing side of it. So you see a lot of messaging around marketing, and really it's all about how you can actually leverage the intelligence to do better personalized, engaging marketing campaigns and lead scoring, etc. But the one thing that I saw that was a differentiator is that, you talk about lead scoring, that's pretty much table stakes nowadays. A lot of marketing automation systems can actually do that already. So they've been able to do that for years. But what's different about Einstein, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
I was saying, scoring, that's so old. That's older than us.
Right.
I had no gray hair. I had no gray hair when lead scoring was new.
Right. Lead scoring is not new. But what is interesting is that they're actually able to score on custom objects. And that's something that, really has been a challenge for marketers in the past. And also think about, the usability for marketers. That's also very important. The message around you don't need a data scientist to actually run some of the analytics and some of the scoring methodology, et cetera. That part is going to be helpful to marketers. So think about it from that perspective. And the custom objects really is a game changer.
That predictive lead scoring is right out of Beyond Core. And, you're right, Cindy, it's instead of being rules-based and something that you have to have techie people maintain,
right?
You're going to have a sort of an analyst be able to use it.
No, it makes a lot of sense. Hey, I wonder if Alan is able to talk. Hey, Alan, we can see you move. Go ahead, Alan. Oh, I just lost him again.
We just saw them earlier.
Talk about it. But really the interesting philosophical thing is with the market share that Salesforce had, and obviously companies which are competing with each other using Salesforces, when everybody now arms their marketeers with some predictive analytical lead scoring, what does it mean? Will it up the game? Will it bring the competition to the same level? So it's really going to be interesting what happens with this pre-canned predictive analytics for customers. But now we have Alan back, and now we're not going to jinx him. Go
Okay.
Alan.
So what I've done is I've given up on my computer and I'm here on my mobile device. So mobile makes life so much easier.
Mobile first, Alan. We hear this all the time.
Okay. All right. Should have been mobile first. So we've run it. Yeah, I know I've been late, so I'm going to be much more succinct. Top 3 takeaways were Quip, which I mentioned. The second would be the focus on Salesforce IQ, so intelligent email and now intelligent calendar as well. So I think they've done some really nice things to sort of integrate together the experiences you have when you're looking at an email message, converting it to a CRM record, things like that. And then third would be on the Salesforce Community Cloud, the things they're doing with what they call Bolt, which is templates for very specific types of communities. And for anyone who's followed my work for a long time, you know I'm very into purpose. Collaboration has to have a purpose. So these templates are designed for specific use cases, which I think they've done a really good job on. So sorry, thank you for waiting and being patient for me, but those are my 3 takeaways.
I think that those are great. I think one thing that continues to happen at the Dreamforce event is that, the early adopters, the innovators, the people who really want to make change come to the event, and that's the big draw. And I think for Salesforce in the next 2 to 3 years, a lot of what they have to do is make sure that the products are delivered as promised, because a lot of people are testing out, trying out new ideas, and they're counting on Salesforce as a platform to help them get there. And Salesforce has also built a brand as a brand that is something that is art of the possible, can happen, right? And there's a lot of effort trying to make that happen for a lot of customers. And so I think that's really the draw of the conference. Almost everywhere, as you guys probably experienced, customers are like, they get excited. They get excited about products, about what they could do. And the conversations are like, hey, what if we could do, what if we could improve this? Or what would happen if Einstein shows up? Or what would happen, if we can get take advantage of Crux? Or what would happen if Salesforce bought Twitter? So I think all those things were definitely on people's minds.
There's a reason they call it Dreamforce.
Yeah. Well, it ties into something I've spoken to a lot of customers about this week. Different than previous Dreamforces is you had a lot of separation and silos in the past. You had service people, were interested in customer support. You had marketing people. You had collaboration people, et cetera. Almost everyone I talk to right now is using more of the platform.
Yeah.
It's a much more, I won't call it seamless, but a much more integrated experience now, where almost every customer I talk to, it's like, oh, how can I get my my sales records into my community cloud, or how can I do my marketing journeys with Einstein, or on and on. Everybody is using more of the portfolio, and I think that's something customers really have to think about.
And customers ask the hard questions, right? How do these things really work? Much more than I've seen in the past, which to me is a very good sign. From a platform perspective, but the important things are there that prediction IO, all these machine learning interfaces come to Heroku. Heroku can be a private development piece. So Salesforce pushing very, very hard, not just on the high level message, everybody can do AI. You don't have to be able to code, but wants to make every developer an AI developer, which is an interesting step. And Kafka, similarly, to process the data, heavily used by the Salesforce IoT Cloud, now runs in Heroku in a own Salesforce flavor, but it's on that platform. But the biggest one, just to quickly round up the platform pieces here, that is Salesforce signed this big deal with Amazon, right? Supposedly spending $400 million for the next, I don't know, it's in their 401k disclosure, S401k disclosure. But Force.com, the programming shell of Force.com can run on an AWS environment, which is a major freeing up of development process, allowing developers to build so-called scratch orgs, virtual orgs to build their next code, and start to do some things around continuous integration, continuous delivery. Okay, I bored you enough about the tech geeky things. Back to the really important business part, but this what is the big news to think on the platform side.
No, I think the platform is very important because it underlies all the other applications and their capabilities. I think one other thing that customers should really take a very careful look at is their licensing of Salesforce. There are a lot of customers we've bumped into that have multiple instances of Salesforce, and that's starting to become a problem. And so I think there's going to be some more rationalization by the CIO teams and by the business leaders in terms of how they license Salesforce. Not necessarily licensing everything at once in the full level. You're going to see much more differentiation there. And then the last thing on my end is, as these industries and industry groups kind of start taking place, just be careful because you can get too crazy on the industry side and not and over license. And we're going to see we have a lot of customers that are starting to experience that as they're getting through that process.
Yeah, we heard no price for Einstein, right? So Einstein's on. By the way, for all the German viewers, right? I tried everything with the Salesforce audience and my US colleague to call Einstein how Einstein called himself. It's not Einstein, but Einstein. So this had to be said for the record. No pricing for Einstein, okay?
So cool.
Yeah, I think the stuff that's actually available, like Beyond Core, they definitely have the separate license per user, power user. You can go back to the companies they acquired and look to there's going to be some embedded functionality is kind of extra cost, and with the AI for everyone in that list of per user.
Well, this is definitely the fall of AI in conferences. We're going to get a lot more about where AI is being used. Once we get past this hype, I think we're going to see a lot more interesting applications evolve over time. So I would say definitely check out everybody's blogs and websites. You're going to see a lot of AI built into our business themes. And more importantly, for folks that are watching, make sure you follow us or get to Constellation Connected Enterprise. Check out constellationevents.com and you'll see all the cool stuff that's about to happen at our conference, our 6th annual conference. So any last words, everybody?
I thought you were going to say something about the shortlist too, Ray. This is the time about our newest offering, which came out yesterday. Mention the shortlist for a moment. Come on.
Yeah, talk about your shortlist. What do you have out there?
Oh, no. I just do global HCM, so different hat, not my technology hat. That's confusing for people. But what are the shortlists all about, Ray?
All right. Well, we got a couple of short lists. I have one out on digital monetization platforms. The short list is basically your chance to actually get insights on what we think are the top companies, top suppliers to help you with your business names. And basically, you get that right away. We give it away for free. Just log in, register. If you need a little bit more help, cost, we can do an advisory for you. It's about $2,000, help you accelerate your vendor selection shortlist process and connect you with the right people at the vendors. So that's my little pitch. What do you have, Cindy?
I've got CPQ, configure price quote. That one's out, and then coming soon are a few in marketing and in SFA.
Cool.
Now I'm dying to know, of course, Cindy, we at Dreamforce. Is Salesforce in the top 5 for CPQ?
Yes, they actually are. There's a big push on the old steel brick, which is now Salesforce CPQ. I just got back from the Sales Cloud keynote, and it's great. It's all about making sales reps more productive and giving them time back to sell. So that's a great theme to always go with.
Another
pay attention to sales.
Very good. Perfect.
Doug?
All
right, Alan.
I've got data lake management, and cloud-based BI. Those are out.
Those two are hot.
Take a look for those. And I've got a blog coming tomorrow, running down the bits and pieces of Einstein that are real and available, and those that are coming soon, and those that are a distant dream from Dreamforce.
And in your shortlist, any mention of Salesforce on those or not?
Not into lists released thus far. They're not into data lake management.
Hey, they have to do some work. Alan, over to you. Shortlist.
Things about enterprise social networks, enterprise file sharing, social task management vendors, group chat tools, all the various pieces of the employee collaboration tools. We have short lists out. A few of those are out now for group messaging. The others that I mentioned will be coming soon. Salesforce's representation would be things like file sharing built directly into the platform. So Chatter files being not a standalone file tool, but a platform file tool, and then some things around Chatter as an enterprise social network. So definitely lots of mention of Salesforce in my future of work collaboration space.
Very cool. Well, Dreamforce isn't over yet, but that was our wrap from all of us here at Dreamforce. Sorry, Animal Mulholland, technical difficulties. Dr. Natalie is missing in action, probably having lots of fun. But we gave you a good compendium of future of work with Alan on the sales and marketing side, on the decision to work side. And Ray, what's your coverage here? Consumerization of IT, or?
I have no idea, but I better move before I get pulled over.
From Ray's perspective, exactly. And the wind is coming up, the signs are coming down. Thanks everybody for watching. Greetings from Constellation Dreamforce. Reach out to us.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.